Like to get these bloopers parts.
So she was just putting on.
You're gonna say?
So she was just putting on. What is that?
Perfume.
And I'm
She's
saying
like, you're gonna do that for the
no
camera?
one can smell you. Anyway, welcome
Hi,
to
guys.
It's Not Just Bootcamp, the
Yes.
show, and we are back, episode
3.
Episode 3, and she is a week out from being in the Bahamas.
Yes.
This time last Saturday, she was in the Bahamas at the WBFF World Championships. But before we get into any of that, it's been an interesting week.
Sure has. I feel like every week is an interesting week.
Every week is an interesting week.
Yes.
That's
why we need to do these weekly.
I know. I would like to thank our sponsors. Me. But no. You know, we really want to make sure that we do these with a lot more frequency and with contest prep and things like that. It's you know that moves to the top of the list, and our list of things to do is pretty long. I want to make sure that this mic is working because we're recording for YouTube and for our SoundCloud and iTunes and all of that stuff. So with contest prep, if you're really doing it the right way, that really does move to the top of the list. And you're eating, you're training, making sure that you have all the things that you need for the contest. All of those things move to the top. And while we do have a lot of things going on, some of those things do become secondary. So, but now that contest season is taking a turn, not ending, taking a turn, we will be able to do a lot more of these.
Yes.
And our goal is to do them at the very least once a week. That is what we're committed to.
Yes.
Maybe we commit to doing them on Saturdays.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, right?
Yeah.
Except for next Saturday.
Except I need to figure out this lighting because I feel like I look like a ghost.
We will figure out the lighting.
Or we're gonna switch sides.
Or we're gonna switch sides. Yeah. Everyone has a side, right?
Yeah.
This
is usually mine.
She definitely says
it's all good. It's all good.
It's all good. It is all good.
Anyway.
So
once a
we're
week on
back
Saturdays.
once a week
We're
on
back.
Saturday, but not next Saturday.
No.
So we'll record it before that.
Yes.
We will definitely have 2 episodes this week.
Yes.
This is going to be one, and we will certainly have another one this week. And our next episode is going to be cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very
we're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that people wonder about. No, I won't give them away.
Okay.
But today we are talking about the first opportunity you had to go to Worlds and compete with all the pros.
So crazy.
So, where do you want to start?
I don't know.
I guess
This is your part. You're good at this.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I'm not interviewing, so we're supposed to be
we're
talking.
kind of just chatting.
But it's okay. But it's okay. I will assume the interview role. And so let's start with this. First part was there were some challenges making sure that you could even go.
Oh my god.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, we can talk about it. Because we're going to talk about everything, right?
Right, we're going to talk about everything.
So, we prepped for Orlando, which was in June, and we went to Orlando, and while we already knew the Bahamas was a show that was coming up, we didn't even really think about going for so many reasons. One, because we didn't want to close the gym. A lot goes into all of us picking up and going out of town for that much time. But then we also had another hiccup, which is I couldn't find any of my documents. So I couldn't find my passport, I couldn't find anything. And because I wasn't born here, I had to jump through a lot of hurdles to even get my passport. I had to prove my citizenship, and one thing pulls the other. So for months, even honestly, before Orlando, we already knew that they had gone missing. And
but can we prep continued?
Yeah.
Life gets in the way, and if you're watching this and you are prepping for a show, if you are on a journey to something, if you have a goal, if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to do whatever, and your goal is as important as you want it to be,
or as you say it is,
then you continue.
No matter what.
No matter what. Okay.
And I'll say this, and I said this when I was at the airport, so if anybody caught my stories, I went on a rant about this. There's been at least one massive thing happening in my life during every single prep. Like, from the first prep, there was so much going on in our life at that time, personally.
A lot.
So much. Like, I would love to be able to share it someday, but so much. Like, most people wouldn't have been able to do anything through all that, let alone
Forget prep.
anything. So that one was a very hard one. The second one, we were super busy because I was prepping for Miami, but we were also prepping like 12 people for it.
Right.
So I got so wrapped up into the work part that I put very little attention into my own prep, and it showed on stage. So that prep was really hard because it does get a little bit stressful. I think especially the first time that you do that many people prepping for the same show.
Right.
It's not like we were prepping a few people for different shows. Like we were all going to that show. It was everyone's first show. So that prep was a little bit hard. This prep to Orlando was the easiest. It was still a lot going on, but
I think there was a lot going on for Orlando because we were busier overall.
Right. The gym and the nutrition coaching. So we had a lot going on. So it's like, just because I feel like because I prep show after show, everyone's like, oh, it must be easy for her.
People think it must be easy. You guys have a gym. You have your coach with you all the time.
Yeah.
Of course you can do it.
Yeah.
And it's the opposite.
Right. And that's your life. Like, it's my life to show up here and to make sure that we service our people. I still have to make the time. I have many jobs like everybody else. So for the Bahamas, once I got my pro card in Orlando, that we decided we wanted to go to the Bahamas, then the whole document thing started, and that was a hassle and a half.
Right, because that wasn't just we got to get this done because we want to go to this contest. It was a life thing. Like you needed yourself.
I needed myself regardless, whether we were going to the Bahamas or not.
And the initial set of things that we found out that we had to do in order to get her paperwork was our initial thought process was, this is going to take a few months.
Yeah.
Up to a year.
Yeah. At first I was like, well, how hard can it be? Like, when you're not from here and you need to prove that you're a citizen, which I've been for 20 years, but I don't have a birth certificate that says I'm born here, so we hit up immigration and they're like, well, it takes 10 to 13 months for us to print out a copy.
10 to 13
I'm like, 10 to 13 months? Are you kidding me?
To type something up and print.
Not to mention like how much they charge, but forget that. I didn't care. Right. I'm like, I don't care what it costs. Like, just I want it. So that wasn't around. And again, it was one thing after the other, and it was. I still had to prep. I still had to eat. I still had to work out, and it was so hard because I didn't know that I was going up until like 2 weeks before. Like, it wasn't for sure up until like was it 2 weeks?
Yeah, just about. We were in Tampa.
Yeah.
We were in Tampa when the passport was on the way.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what it was.
At the end of the day, I think that one of the things, as a coach, one of the things that maybe people don't realize is all of the experiences that most people are going through, we have gone through and then some. You know, and I think in some cases that makes us maybe less sensitive to hearing some of the obstacles that some people come up with.
Yeah.
We are desensitized.
Not because we're better, but just because for us it's
but not in a bad way. Like, we've gone through just a series of things, and at the end of the day, it was still a choice whether or not we continue to move forward. Right. So because we feel that way, because we live that, because we know that it does come down to a choice when the choice is presented, and we've been in situations where there was no choice, then maybe it might seem sometimes like we're not that sensitive or we're cold or whatever the case might be. But that isn't it. We just we really enjoy what we do. We love what we do, and the people that we help, the people that we coach. We love helping and coaching, but we also are able to see the road ahead.
Spot the bullshit.
Well, you see how you talk. See the road ahead.
Spot the bullshit. That's our dynamic.
But it's like that as parents.
Yeah.
When you have kids, kids try to get away with everything, and you as a
can see
parent
right
see
through
the
it.
road ahead.
But the thing is, I think a lot of times the excuses that people make, oh, but this happened during my prep. And it's happened to people on our team and girls that talk to me on Instagram that I've never met. People let things get in your way. You let things get in your way. Nothing can get in your way. If you are determined to get to the end no matter what, unless you're in a hospital bed for an extended period of time.
Been there.
But even then, for an extended period of time where you have to stop that prep, like there's nothing, if you let it get in your way, then you let it get in your way.
100%.
But people, when they make their excuses that I've heard, they're really making those excuses for themselves.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you don't want anybody any explanations about anything.
Of course.
But when they talk about the things that held them back, they say it with so much belief that that's why. And it's like, it's not why. You're why.
Right. I think one of the things is also a lot of times during the process, and again, whoever's watching this, we're right at this moment talking about prep, but this really happens, I coach more people that just
You're a therapist.
Right, no, but I coach more people that want to lose a couple pounds, that want to lose weight, they want to feel better and look better than I do people that are competing.
Totally.
But we are talking about that because she was just at, the contest.
But it applies either way.
But it applies either way. But I think what ends up happening is that not only do people say that and believe it, the other thing is the goal that you set out to achieve is your goal.
Right. You're giving up on yourself.
Right, but if you don't want to do it, then you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
It's what that is always the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
That people beat themselves up sometimes in a bad way. It's like, oh, I didn't do this week or that this week or that today. Like, listen, there is no timetable.
Right.
There is no timetable. We love the idea of helping people go through the transition of getting on stage and doing it in the best, most effective way possible with health front of mind and all of the things that we've talked about. But at the end of the day, that goal has to be yours as a competitor or as a person getting on stage.
And it has to be a top priority.
Right.
Otherwise, anything is going to get in your way. Shit happens all the time.
Yeah, and it can't be more important to somebody else than it is to yourself. And that applies to whether you are trying to get on stage and look ridiculous on stage, amazingly awesome, in your suit, showing all the work that you've put in, or whether you just want to fit into a better pair of jeans.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a difference. If your goal is yours, and it has to be, at the very least, the most important thing to you. It can't be more important to somebody else.
No.
And as a result, even though we had obstacles,
every prep, this one I didn't think. Let's talk about this one because I really didn't think it was going to happen.
Because it wasn't even.
I talked to lawyers. I talked to everybody. Everyone's like, you cannot speed up the immigration. Like, you just can't do it. There's nothing to do about it. You go on a wait. You pay the.
We tried to go on the DL. Can we take a boat?
Yeah, I was like, can we charter our way?
Right.
And they're like, maybe, but then you can't get back. Imagine not being able to get back home. That would have been a disaster.
That would have been.
So we went through a lot of things. Did not think it was going to happen.
But continued
prepping. He would tell me, he's like, you still gotta eat and work out like it's happening.
Right, because
if it does happen, then
what ends up happening is that if it does happen,
but I'm always like, it's not gonna happen. Don't you see? Like, it's not gonna. Nothing's working. He's like, you gotta wait till the last minute.
Right. I'm very. Until it's there.
Yeah.
But
I'm like, it's not happening.
It's not happening. She's like, it is. I'm like, until it's there.
Yeah, both ways. Because if the card gets signed, he's like, not till it happens. So it doesn't matter which way.
And we'll talk about that next week.
Yes, in our next one.
Hint. But anyway, we did everything that we could.
It worked out.
We
got my passport. And we did mine before, because everyone's documents went missing.
Right.
Right.
Everyone's lost their stuff.
So we did my passport first to make sure, because we're like, if mine actually
as long as
works,
she got hers,
then they're fine.
Then we would have no problem.
And then it wasn't fine.
We
got another hurdle thrown our way. I got my passport and they didn't at first.
Well, the kids did.
The kids did.
I did not get mine.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. That would have been a hiccup again. And I did not.
I was devastated. I was like, we're not going after everything we went through with immigration. We're not going now. Like, we were going for a second in my head, and then we weren't going.
Right. And then, again, as a competitor, I assume the role of coach immediately. because as a competitor, you are eating and training and doing all of the things that you have to do to get ready for this. That particular hiccup was not going to affect her personally. It was going to affect our family, our home, in the sense that maybe we all couldn't be together. But our team, our home team, and our contest team is greater than just the one person. So we talked for 5 minutes, maybe less, and I said, you've got to continue, you've got to keep going, and I will hold the fort down here, which meant all of our classes continued, everything kept going like normal, which also is a strength because we were able to do two different things at once. Divide and conquer. Because if we both left, then that also meant we were going to have to shut down the gym.
Which we will do in a couple of months. Get ready, because everyone complains the moment we say we're going to close for 2 days.
So,
it wasn't the ideal situation. I had a lot of stress leading up to that trip for my own documents, and then it did bring a great deal of stress for me when that happened with him, because the truth is that I've never really gone through a competition without you. From the support of like knowing he's watching and looking for either his nod or him shaking his head in the audience to, this is how you look this morning, I'm going to change this up. I'm just really used to like having him there, and on top of it, we were going to have a family trip. So like we were which we haven't done in years. So we were looking forward to it, to celebrating that victory. It was my first pro show. It was the first world show, obviously. This is my first pro show. So there was a lot, like, I think emotionally that was stressful for me all the way up until the very end.
But I think that the point that I want to drive home is that everything continued.
Yeah, you have to continue.
With whatever, and the thing is that everybody's obstacles are interpreted in a different way, right? What may be challenging for somebody else might be, a walk in the park for you, and vice versa. That could have thrown a monkey wrench in the entire plan, but we did not.
For me, I was like, we're not going. He's like, yeah, you're going. And I'm like, oh my God, no.
Right,
And he's like, leave the kids with me. And I'm like, I'm going to tell these kids, we've been talking about this trip forever. And I'm going to tell these kids, you guys are going to all stay here and I'm going to go. That's not going to happen. These poor kids. And then I don't know how many people were like, you're taking the kids? And I'm like, yeah, like, they do everything with me. I'm used to it. And Bree's grown, so they hang out and they entertain each other.
Right.
But we move forward.
We move forward.
We went for it.
Again, it was a 5-minute or less conversation. And we ordered our food. We made sure that the supplements were in line. Got everything packed and prepared. And continued forward no matter what.
Yes.
Because I think that what it is that it was important. And when something
it
was a priority, and it was important, and when something is important, you move forward. I think that no matter what someone says, your actions always speak louder.
100%.
So someone might be saying, "Oh, I really want to do this, and this is super important to me," but the first bump in the road, it's like, "Well, I can't now." Your actions will always speak louder.
Yep.
This is the kind of thing that rewards you internally and externally.
But you gotta be all in.
With an incredible effect. But you do have to be all in, and you do have to put in the work, and there is no skipping. There is no I'll get to it. There just isn't. This particular goal is earned. 1,000%.
Every single bit of it.
So anyway, you went to the Bahamas.
Yes. It was so surreal because, well, first of all, the hotel we were at, it was gorgeous. I literally felt like I was in Vegas, like with a beach outside. Like there's casinos and clubs and stores. It was awesome. But from a competition standpoint, I mean, it was my first pro show. We've been watching. There are very few pro shows a year, which we talked about in our other episode. So, but this is the one pro show of the year that kind of like everyone shows up. It's the World Championship. So everyone from around the world, all the girls from Australia, from everywhere, from Brazil, from the US, from all over, they all come, or a lot of them, not all, and they come for this because they've all placed really well in the past. Some of them have their crowns. So this is like the biggest show of the year. And I think to me, my first thing was that it was just surreal to be like in the same place as all of them, because I've been watching the WBFF and some of these girls for a couple of years now, and you don't bump into any of them at the amateur shows. I mean,
Right.
maybe here and there if they have a team going, but not really. And it was so crazy that not only was I at the same event as them, but I was on the same stage, like on the same category. And for me, like I'm just got my pro card, you know, like we've been competing for a couple of years, but it was just surreal. Like to see everyone that you see only through social media.
It's that quote that says when your idols become your rivals.
Yeah.
And not that there's a rivalry, but
and not that they were my idols. Like I wasn't fangirling over them, but it was crazy.
But it's at any level. I mean, you can be an incredible college basketball player, but if you're into basketball and you're an incredible basketball player, then you know that LeBron James is in the NBA.
Yeah.
And the second that you go pro, should you be so lucky to, and you are going to play against LeBron James,
it's so crazy.
it is, it's like, wow,
Yeah.
So
it's a great, and that's why a lot of people asked me when I got back, or even a couple people on social media, like, oh, so like, what did you place? Did you win? Because people just don't get how it works. And
Right.
I'm like, I didn't go there for that. And not that, I mean, as a competitor, as an athlete, you always want a place. You want your hard work to be rewarded with some sort of like title, I guess you could say.
Right.
But for this show specifically, that's not why I went. Like, I didn't go thinking that could have ever
I
happened.
sometimes think that that question is asked because first I think people ask that because they don't know what else to ask.
Right.
But I also think that people don't realize how many people are actually at one of these shows.
Yeah, and how long they've been doing it for.
Well, how many people were in your category?
Almost 40.
So almost 40 people in
And
your
in an
category.
amateur show, there's 10, maybe
Right.
less.
So
5.
and in 40 people in her category that are all professional fitness competitors, the fact that somebody makes it to the stage in itself is an accomplishment.
Totally.
In
any stage, but we're talking about this stage
Right.
specifically. In any stage, it's an accomplishment. But for me, it was more like, holy crap, like I get to see what everyone looks like in person. I get to talk to them and make those connections and, just kind of be in that room
Right.
that I never imagined being in.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially this soon. So it was crazy. It was really cool.
So you had and Worlds doesn't go for just
Right.
a weekend. It starts
It's like almost
Wednesday.
a week long.
So it starts Wednesday.
It starts Wednesday with registration. That's where you meet like all the athletes. They do all the nominations, or they give awards to all the nominations, which Coach of the Year was nominated.
Nominated, didn't win this year.
And Team of the Year.
Team of the Year. That's what's going on, people.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And again, we have. I think that this is only our third episode, but even on social media, we haven't really run with that, and we really haven't talked about it a lot.
Yeah,
but the fact of the matter is, again, there's 40 people on stage in her category specifically. There are hundreds of people at that show. There are thousands of people competing all over the world, and our team got
hundreds of teams and hundreds of coaches.
Our team got nominated for Team of the Year. And
next to people that have been doing that
right.
with them for a very long time.
And being nominated for Coach of the Year is an honor.
It's a big deal.
And we are super happy that we had that opportunity, and we are going to work to not only get it again, but now we want to win that.
Of course, anything's possible.
So anyway, so that's Wednesday night.
So Wednesday's registration, you get your number, you get like kind of an itinerary of what the show is going to be like. You meet everyone, you take pictures. It's kind of like a mingling thing after they do the awards. You meet Paul and Allison, who are the president and vice president of the WBFF. So that was Wednesday night. And then Thursday was what they call media day, like during the day. So everyone dresses in white, and it's kind of a day where you take pictures. So they have a bunch of photographers set up and a bunch of backdrops, and they kind of want to get pictures of everyone, like kind of divided into teams, South America and USA and Australia, and then all the bikini girls and all the bikini 35 and all the fitness. So they kind of want to get a picture, like all the group pictures, and everyone's in white. So that's another event where, you know, you get glammed up again, and, you know, you meet everyone and you mingle and you take pictures. It's just another, like, gathering.
And you had a photo shoot scheduled
Right,
also?
so after that, because we were all glammed up for that, I had a photo shoot on the beach scheduled after that. It was really cool. It's a beautiful beach. I thought we were just going to do it at the beach, like where the hotel is, but we actually had to take a car to, like, I don't know, it's like 15 minutes away. By the way, the roads in the Bahamas, if you haven't been, they're swapped. It's so trippy. We never even talked about that. So, like, you drive on this side and people come on this side, and the car is swapped too. It's super weird. I thought I was going to die for sure. Everyone's, like, cutting everyone off. So we went to this beach. It was so gorgeous. We did a team shoot with my posing coach, with her team, and then we each got, like, individual time to do our shoots. It was really cool. I almost got bit by a crab. I spotted the crab. It was like the color of the rocks. You know, I can spot any animal.
You can.
I can spot anything. I could see something moving right over there and be like, there's something there. It was like the color of the rock. He was like, how did you see that? Because he was like, sit up on the rocks. And I was like, there's a crab. But that was really cool. And then I hung out with the kids. Friday, all day.
And you took your food.
I took all of my meals.
Didn't eat at the hotel.
Did not eat at the hotel at all.
Packed everything.
Everything. The only thing I got at the hotel was coffee.
We ordered our food from Icon.
So good. It was
Icon.
perfect.
Icon.com. You can order your meals. Enter code Mr. Bootcamp. Save 10%, people.
Yeah.
Plug.
It's so good. Yeah. Hashtag ad. No, but it honestly, it was such a lifesaver. Even before. Like the 2 weeks before, because you wanted me to have the food before show week to see if my body would react to it. I mean, there's no reason to it. It's like clean.
Right.
But you just never know. And it's just so delicious and so convenient. Like, even the weeks before that, we were so busy and we were getting
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it's a plug, but think about it like... We
don't plug anything, we don't put it in.
But think about it like this. So if you're traveling, if you're a competitor, or if you're on a diet or whatever the case is, and you're traveling, then, you know, you want to make sure that your food is on point, right? So you don't want to go into a hotel, good hotel, bad hotel, doesn't matter. You don't want to go anywhere where you haven't eaten the food that they have, because the truth is that unless you're cooking it, you have no control
how much
over what's going on.
oil, what they're putting in it.
So I didn't, as a coach, I did not want any of the athletes going to the Bahamas and ordering food from the hotel. Doesn't matter if it was grilled chicken and rice from the hotel, without knowing how it was going to sit, and how it was going to feel, and then how their bodies were going to respond. So a couple weeks before that, we had to figure the logistics out.
We all got it.
You know.
And a lot of other competitors took their own food. Like, they cooked it, they put their fish in Ziploc.
Right,
which is super weird. I'm like, I don't want to go through that.
So we were looking, you know, we have tried over the years different meal prep services or meal delivery services, and the truth is that we just haven't necessarily loved any of them. You know, it's convenient, but, you know, we just haven't loved, we're super picky.
Yeah.
But, you know, it came from a good recommendation to give this a shot, and the truth is that...
We started over like, let's just get 3 or 4 meals, let's try it first.
One of the things that I personally didn't like about some of the services is that you had to sign up for an ongoing service, like where you got to sign up for weekly food delivery, and listen, what if next week I don't want any of it, you know?
Right, what if next week I want to cook? Or
so that was one of the first things that I liked, that you could order 1 meal, you could order 10, it didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
But what I wanted...
Commitment, no strings attached.
Another
topic for next week.
What I wanted was to order a couple meals, and number 1, see if you like them, and then number 2, see how they sat.
Yeah.
See how her body responded to it.
If anything bloated me.
Right.
Because you never know with food that's already cooked in its package.
Because
but I love that it was sealed.
Right. Because if it worked out, then we could have ordered a bunch of meals, which we did, and taken them with us. So that's exactly why that all happened. So we did order a couple meals. We liked all of them. We ordered a couple more. We liked all of them.
Because the week before, I was so busy packing and dealing with everything. It was so convenient to just get it out of the fridge, put it in the microwave.
And sure enough, one of the services that we offer at our gym is nutrition coaching, and we do help people with their food. So it just made sense to, I guess, quote unquote, partner with something with the right.
We've been looking for one.
We have.
But there just really hasn't been a good fit, and we were going to do it just for the sake of partnering. If it's not something we use, we're not going to promote it. There's
right,
no
you know, and one of the things that I really liked is that you could custom order how much food you want.
Yes.
So, for example, if I put together, or if I suggest somebody have, whatever, 4 ounces of chicken and a half cup of rice, you could specifically order
that.
4 ounces of chicken and a half cup of rice. And
It's
get
so
that.
awesome.
Right.
And if you're using My Fitness Pal, it scans. So you can
So a lot of the foods come with a barcode that you could scan. I mean, and again, save 10%.
Mr. Bootcamp.
Mr. Bootcamp is the code. It'll be in the show notes.
Yeah.
I like to do that. Show notes. It'll be on the bottom.
Do you know how to put it there?
Of course.
Oh, I don't. I don't know how to do any of this stuff. But I also took oats, which is what I have in the morning with my protein, my first form.
Level 1.
Magical. It literally tastes like a dessert. I've been saying it for a year.
We will put a code for that.
Free shipping. No, but it was really good. I took my own oats, and in the morning I would just put like the hot water from the coffee machine and my protein and be done. I had my meals all mapped out like that, a shake, my greens, just everything just mapped out the way that it was supposed to.
Convenience is...
Everything.
Convenience is like...
People don't realize that saving time is like, you don't need anything more than you need time.
Right.
Time is money.
So when when you experiment a lot, and I guess that's the biggest difference. A lot of people don't make food a priority like we do, so they don't have time to experiment. So we experiment a lot, and when we find something that works, we're going to share it because
we have to share it.
So
why wouldn't we?
So yes, so she makes her oats. She puts a scoop of level 1 protein in there.
Yes.
Gets her protein in her carbs.
I don't like protein shakes, to be honest. Like it's just not something that I enjoy. So I will have one post workout. Of all the ones, the Formula One with the Ignition is my favorite. But I still am not like, oh, this shake is so good. Like it's not my thing. But that's okay. But it's easier to do after a workout when you're hot and you're tired than it is to have like chicken. So I'd rather, out of both, I'd rather do the shake. But the scoop of level 1 in the morning with my oats is so good.
Yeah.
It literally, like, I don't taste the protein powder. Are you sure?
On a serious note, if you are looking to order something, of quality, we're not plugging just for the sake of plugging.
No,
and if you're listening, that's why the mic is here. If you are listening in the car or on the treadmill, if you're listening or watching, I will put links in there for you to order just to make it easier for you. You have to figure it out.
Yes. Again, if we don't use it ourselves, we're not going to.
Right, and just honestly in an effort to help.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you can order whatever you want. You can walk into GNC and have one of those people try to sell you something.
Oh God, horrible idea.
But
I had all my meals with me.
Had all her meals.
I hung out with the kids Friday, got my tan Friday afternoon, and then Friday night was the amateur show, but I didn't go because I was hanging out with the kids. And then Saturday was show day, and that's a really long day in the pro show because you have, so the first show is in the morning. It started, I think, at like 10:30. So we had hair and makeup and top coat for the tan at like 7. It's what they call prejudging. So they get everybody to go out there only in your suits, do your category, you do everything. It is the show, the judges are there, everything is there. And they kind of get like an initial look at everybody. I think that is where they do their judging.
Right.
I think they do that for 2 reasons. One, because it is so many people, they do like to kind of get an idea of what they're looking at. But also because I think it takes away a lot of the nerves for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you already went through it. The stage was very different than anything like I had ever done because it was a square stage, but then it also had like a catwalk, which they tend to do at Worlds, but the way that they wanted the posing done this year for that catwalk, they had never done before. Usually they have you walk all the way down to the catwalk and back. This time they wanted you to stop at different angles. So everyone was a little bit thrown off because it was the first time. So I think that prejudging show is good for the judges, but it's also really good for the competitors because it gives you an idea of what you're dealing with later. At night is when they have like a bunch of people in the audience. They streamed it live. So, but by then you had already done it.
Right.
So that's a good thing, but at the same time, you're exhausted by the nighttime. That nighttime show is 5 times longer because it's not just everyone in their suits, it's everyone also in their suits again, and in their theme wear, in their gowns. So it's a much longer show. I remember the show was starting at, I think, like 7. And when we did like the walkthrough at like 5:30, they were like, we're going to try our best to be done by 11. And I was like, 11? What the hell?
I was watching live on Facebook, and we lost sound. There was no sound because I guess copyright laws. They were playing music, so watching it with no sound was rough. So I happened to catch a couple people recording live on Instagram. I saw it there. But anyway.
But yeah, they were like 11, and the kids had told me, they're like, we're gonna wait for you so we can have that cheat meal together. We had already like looked at the room service menu because the restaurants were gonna be packed, and I was like, let's just order room service and be comfy and eat, pizza or whatever. And they said 11, and I was like, oh my gosh. But it wasn't done until like 12:30. I didn't get into my room until like 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And the kids were up and they were waiting for me, but then we had to go with the late night menu, which didn't have anything we really wanted, but we ordered it just cause. And that was that. Sunday was a very chill day. We went to the pool. We tried to make the best of it, but by then we were all so tired.
Yeah,
you're in paradise, but you're like, I'm done. Junior had an ear infection. Our flight was like kind of late, but not too late. We had to check out in the morning, so our bags were like, it was just like we were ready to go.
Yeah, end of a trip.
Yeah, and then we got to the airport and our flight was delayed like 2 hours. But then we were back home, and it was an amazing experience.
Right. And that's why I wanted her to go.
Yeah, it was amazing.
If she had not have gone, then you can't say that.
Yeah.
You can't say it was an amazing experience. You can't say, I heard it was great.
Yeah.
She experienced.
Where I watched on Instagram again.
She experienced
Yes.
it, so she knows firsthand what it feels like. So she does a lot of posing coaching. So when she talks to a competitor, then she tells the story firsthand. It's not something that she thought or heard. It's something that she's done.
Yeah, it was so cool. And honestly, I definitely want to be at Worlds next year. It's going to be in the Bahamas again. I want to be at every Worlds just because it is where the best of the best come together. And to me, for this show, like I said before, I wasn't going into it trying to place, but that's just because it was my first show. That's not how it's going to be forever. Like by the next show, I better be competitive enough. I better put in enough amount of work so that I can. But then that becomes a thing. Like to me, being great means that you're competing against great. Like I don't want to compete against 10 or 15 or 20 so-so girls. I want to compete against the best in the world, and I want to rank there. Because then that means that I'm doing something right.
Right, of course.
So.
And that brings us to where we are now. So the instructions that I gave her were to take this week off.
Of working out.
To give her body an opportunity to recover. And that we would gradually increase her food. But of course, she booked a video shoot today.
Another project.
To record her suit and whatever, another project for work, which meant she could not take the time off. So, had a week of training back, just kind of to hold that level of conditioning up until today. And officially tomorrow, she is not allowed to work out for a week.
It's so hard for me. When I work out, this week that I worked out, I really did notice how much I truly need that break. Everything hurts. I haven't taken a week off in 2 years more.
So she is going to take a full week off from training, and next week she is going to have a variety of cheat meals that we have already discussed.
I have a list. I'm going to spread them out, and I'm going to suffer. I know.
And then the following Monday, I will start her reverse diet, and we will officially begin her prep for the Atlantic City show. So while sometimes people say you shouldn't do show after show, give your body a break, the truth of the matter is that because we do everything in a strategic fashion,
in a healthy way,
and a sustainable way, her prep, the amount of time of this next prep will allow her to bring a much better package to her next show. And it'll allow us to take everything that we have learned from the way that her body responded from the last 4 competitions to make everything better for this one coming up. So we are going to utilize that time to make improvements, and it will not be detrimental to her health or the way that she feels or looks, because we have planned everything accordingly, and life is not going to stop because she is prepping for this, we are just going to make everything part of what we do.
Yeah, I'm excited. Atlantic City is a really big show. It's the last show of the year. It's anyone who didn't make it to Worlds will be there. Some people, we've talked about it. There's only 4 or 5 pro shows. One's in Australia, one's in London, and then the other 3, it's LA in the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the season, which is April. There's Worlds in August, and then there's this one. So it's a really big show, a lot of competition. I'm going to put in a lot of work in the next few weeks, whatever it is that I need to do, because I'm not going to this show as let me see like how it looks. I'm going to compete, and I want to be competitive up there.
And before Atlantic City, we have a team that will be in Miami.
Yes, I'm so excited.
November 9th, 10th.
Yes.
We have a team that will be competing in Miami. So we will be at the WBFF Miami show in November
9th.
And we will be in Atlantic City
December 7th.
We're rocking with this. And we're helping people that are either doing this for the first time.
Yes.
And have been thinking about it, and they're not really sure what to do. If you're watching this, let me just put it like this. If you're watching this or if you're listening to this and you've been thinking about getting ready for a show, you've been wanting to do something like this or even find out more about something like this, just reach out to either one of us. We'll be more than happy to answer any questions. It doesn't mean you have to buy anything. We're not going to try to sell you anything. And
sometimes people don't prep with us, but they pose with us, and that still means you're part of the team. We like to guide people through every step of the way.
And the reason that we do that is because when she went through the process for the first time, there were just a lot of questions that weren't answered. And it could be overwhelming when you're trying to do everything by yourself. So if you do have questions about it, what to do, how to register, how to sign up, where to get your suit, theme wear, posing, how to eat, how to train for something like this. We are more than happy to answer any of your questions, especially if it's your first time.
And not just my first show, my first couple shows. It was so much trial and error. If you've competed before, and you are looking to do things a different way, we are also more than happy to answer any questions about how we do what we do, the reason we do it the way that we do it. All in all, again, if you're watching, you're listening, if you have questions about getting started with the WBFF or continuing your journey, doing it for the first time, for the second time, or the 10th time, we are both more than happy to answer any questions. Absolutely. We love guiding people through this process in any way.
It's great. It's great to see the outcome. It's great to see the journey. Cool. I always post or say the promise is in the process, and that's because the journey to getting on stage is where you're going to find the most growth. You do get the body at the end, and you feel great and amazing. But the journey and the things that you overcome are what really shape you moving forward. I think that's.
We also are gathering a team for Atlantic City. We have already a couple people on that team, and we already have people on teams for next year.
We do have people on teams.
So there are a lot of people who are maybe curious. They're like, there's no way to be ready.
Team forever. I tell everybody when they start that for every vision, there's results for every vision. That you have of what you want to look like, results are available, and that is what Team Forever stands for. For every vision exists results, and I believe that of every person that has come on our team, whatever their starting point is, if that is something that you want to do, if that's something that you want to accomplish,
definitely can.
You definitely
can. It's just a matter of what show, what time frame, what category, right? But at the end of the day, the experience is the same. It's so awesome.
And we've had people on our team that were told, no, this isn't for you, you can never do this, and I got them on stage.
Yeah, we would never do that.
We got this.
Yeah, so next week, we are stepping out of competition.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about fitness
and food, and we're going to get a little bit more personal.
Yeah, we're going to get a little personal. It's going to be great. So then, anything else?
Nope, I thought you were going to shake my hand. That was weird.
That would have been weird. I guess till next time, do the stuff that people do. Like, share, comment. I think that you're supposed to tell people to like it.
Like, share, comment, subscribe below.
Whatever the thing is, I don't know. But you're supposed to tell people that they have to like it, but that helps you. So that more people watch it.
So like it. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know how to put the little link there, but let's pretend it's there.
I got you. Peace out, people.
Bye, guys.